Okay, so Ryan's going to go up and do her last set. We got cut off. Something happened. All of a sudden, the film just stopped. I am not a good camera person, and I did not set the timer. So I have it on here. You'll be fine. So we're doing 20 seconds on this side. And that just throws me off. I had an interesting story I was telling you. Come on down, rest. So we're going to go to the other side. And now I want to show you guys how to do this the hard way or the more challenging way. So Ryan's going to lift up into side plank. And now she's going to lift her top leg. And she's going to have her foot slightly higher than her knee. Good. And now we're going to hold that for just 10 seconds. This is going to start to work, people. This is a very difficult position to be in. Keep that foot up. Good. Come on down and rest. So now face, so we can see you from the side. So she's going to go up into side plank. Ryan, come on back down. Bring your knees forward just a little bit. Too far. You're just at an angle. I want to have you be more straight, possibly. Good. Pelvis forward a little bit. Top leg up. And then you're going to have your foot slightly higher than your knee. Foot slightly higher. Good. The foot slightly higher is very difficult to do, and some of you won't even be able to do it because you have too much weakness in your butt. But that's what I'm looking for is, okay, Ryan, come on down. We're going to do one more set like this, and then we'll switch sides. So the first is go up into side bridge or side plank. And then once you get your pelvis in the proper position, straight, now lift the top leg up and the foot slightly higher, just the foot up. There you go. And then you got to keep the pelvis forward. It's going to want to start to sink back so you get into a kind of a side bent position. And I'll show you that on the other side when she comes down in 4 seconds. Keep your foot up, keep your foot up. It's very hard to do. Come on down. Switch. Let's do the other side. So we'll start on, side plank and lift up. Good. And then the top leg higher than the bottom. Good. Very good. This is her strong side. Can everyone tell the difference? Wow, Ryan. So notice the stability. Her left side is stable. Even the right side is holding up pretty good here, holding that position. Come on down. Now do it from the side so we can see that angle. So Ryan, I'm going to have you just go up and let your butt come backwards. A little bit more. So that's what will happen to people is their butts will come backwards. Drive your pelvis forward for me. Good. Lift that top leg up and keep the foot slightly higher than the bottom. Very good. This is a good position for her. This is a good position. So this came about from a runner that I was working on that does triathlons, and she was having most of her problems in her glutes. Come on down, Ryan. And she had actually eventually found out she had a tear in her glute medius, and that was part of what kept bothering her. But go ahead and go up again. Drive the pelvis forward, lift the top leg, foot a little bit higher. Beautiful. Keep the pelvis forward. Good. So this particular runner was having difficulty doing a bird dog, which is where you're on your hands and knees and you extend your arms out and your leg out. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Good, Ryan. Come on down. Okay. So I'll continue that story in a second. Ryan is going to start with no bands. She's just going to grab a weight. And she's going to do the lateral toe taps. Nope. So this is the starting point. So this is where we started day one. We just touch in and touch out. We had no bands. I even think the first day we started with no weight. Then we added weight and then we added bands. So she's going to do one set of 10. Let's do one set of 15 and then we'll switch. So this patient, I noticed, looked very strong when doing the bird dog until I saw her at the 90-degree angle. So one of the things we learn when we're evaluating people is to see from different positions. So right now I'm looking at Orion directly in front of her. What I would want to do is turn her to the side, so face that way for me. So now I'm looking at her at the 90-degree angle. So this is what happened. I was looking at this patient from the 90-degree angle and was like, oh, wait a second, she is not stable at all. So I put her up on the treatment table and I was checking her hip strength in unloaded position. So there's no force of the floor acting on her. So she wasn't standing. We call that closed kinetic chain. So she's in an open chain position. And when I was testing her strength, she kept trying to rely on the muscles in the front called your tensor fasciolata, which is what becomes the IT band. and she was having a real hard time actually using her glutes at all. So I just positioned her leg back into a slight extension. Go ahead and put the band on, Ryan. So remember, at home when you're progressing this, that's where we added the backpack so you could have a weight on your back to hold on to. Yeah, go ahead. So Ryan grabbed the heavy one today. This is the 100-pound weight vest. So progression at home is a backpack, and then go ahead and do your lateral toe taps. And let's do another set of 15. I'm feeling energetic. Her legs are sore. She'll be really happy. She's going to yell at me later today. So anyway, so this patient had a very, very difficult time trying to hold that position. And so I then thought this would be a great position for her to do just as an exercise. And what I mean is she's just laying flat on her side, lifting that top leg up, keeping the foot slightly higher than the knee. And then when I would check the strength there, she didn't have any. She couldn't even hold against resistance. So as we started to progress through things, I took her from laying down, and then we transitioned up into quadruped again, which is on your hands and knees. And then we went into kneeling. But along the way, I decided to try side plank. And sure enough, she was one of those people that was sticking her butt backwards, trying to rely on the muscles in the front that are nice and strong. So at first I had her start on her knees and drive her pelvis forward. And then I had her try that position that I just showed you that Orion did. And she couldn't do it. And now she can. And she competed in a triathlon last summer and did very well, actually. And is the last I spoke to her, not having pain anymore. And it had been like a 2 or 3 year process for her to get through. So it was a long haul for her, but she ran a marathon and biked however far it is, 100 miles, 150, something like that. Okay, so you can take the bands off, and we're going to go to the chair squat now. You can keep the weight vest on for this. So we'll do the chair squats now, just the basic chair squat. You're on the edge there. Scoot over to your left a little bit. Good. So the basic chair squat is just sitting down, standing up, and we have equal distribution of weight on both feet. So if this is a challenge for anybody and you're having discomfort in your knees, just put a blanket on the chair to boost it up a little bit higher to make it slightly easier. Once this gets easier, after we do 10, then we're going to switch to a staggered stance. And just do 5 on the left and then 5 on the right. So she already has weight with the weight vest. And remember here, what I'm looking at is how the knee tracks. So the first time the knee was tracking towards the big toe and the little toe, and it's still doing that. Remember, that's her strong leg. Now we get to the weaker of the 2 legs. And yet she's doing fine because she's gotten stronger. So it's much more symmetrical now. Go back to the early videos and you'll see her hip shifts out to the side, and it doesn't so much anymore because that right leg has gotten stronger. And it's because we keep progressing her. Now she's going to grab a weight and hold it at your chest, and we'll do 5 at the chest. So now we're adding the weight vest plus another weight. So that's going to be about 25 pounds that she's lifting there, in addition to her body weight, obviously. And this is going to be putting her pretty close to where I'd want to keep her right now, just because her form is really good. She's not cheating anywhere. Toes straight ahead, knees tracking properly. And then down by the side. So I like doing down by the side because, as I've mentioned in the previous videos, it challenges your balance a little bit and it works on the core differently. So when you have the weight holding coming down on one leg, it just throws things off enough, and yet you're still working on your mechanics to have a straight torso and proper leg position. And usually people will find when they hold the weight on the same side, it's easier than when you hold it on the opposite side. And then obvious progression here. 2 obvious progressions. One is more weight, and the other is to change the foot position. So you keep putting the foot out further and further to get to more and more of a single leg squat. So again, we're right at that fringe with Orion, so I would not want a heavier weight here. I would work first on repetition, so getting her so she's able to do 15, 20 repetitions, 2 sets of 10, same idea. before I would want to progress. And then what I'd progress is her foot position, not the weight. So I'd make her stand her foot out just a little bit more to be more symmetrical with the left leg. Good. Now we're going to do the floor star, and we'll just keep the vest on. Yep. So she's going to do the touch to the side, drive the knee, and then to the back. And so we're going to do a set of 5 on this left leg, and then we'll do 5 on the right leg. And then what we're going to do is progress it with the yoga mat. So since week 1, I've had Orion just be in her stocking feet, her socks. And I highly encourage that at home as well for all the reasons I've mentioned on previous videos.